Hi, how are you?
Hi, Kelly. Good. How are you doing?
Good, good, good. So you've been busy. You've made a new movie.
Yes, yes. I'm very excited about it.
Traumatika is I wasn't sure what to expect because I was kind of almost expecting like a little bit of cheesiness to it because of the poster,
hmm
but it was great.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. So glad you enjoyed it.
When we're doing such a dark role, does it ever affect you?
Ooh, that's a great question. I don't feel like it does, but I think it's funny. My husband says when I'm filming stuff here in Los Angeles, he says I'm a little different. I don't feel it. I think it's like a subconscious thing. I'm not trying to be different, but he says that while I'm working, there's a little bit I'm different somehow. And then like when we wrap and then it kind of, that kind of dissipates. So I don't feel like I am, but apparently something is kind of infiltrating in while I'm not on set.
Right, right, and I can understand it because you know, Dramatica has so much darkness involved with it, and there's so many
Yeah.
things that your character goes through.
Right.
Um, was that difficult to do? Because I mean, it's pretty dark.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was challenging. It was definitely challenging, but thankfully Pierre, the director, and Max, the producer, they create such a supportive, encouraging, safe environment that I feel like I'm able to go there and not feel scared about it. I can really take risks. I can go to the dark places. They create like a very quiet, peaceful environment, so I don't feel rushed or hurried, or I can take my time, which is really beautiful for an actor. I mean, I'm not. Some actors might be able to like turn it on and off, but I'm not one of those. I need a few minutes to get there, to get into the space. Especially when I'm doing scenes like that feel, you know, like people watching, someone might relate to something they're watching. And I want to be respectful of that. And I want to do it justice as much as I can and feel like grounded as much as I can. So while it is a challenge and not necessarily fun to film those scenes by any means, it's rewarding at the end of the day because I feel like they create a space where I can do hopefully my best work.
Right, fantastic. I have to ask about your character's look
Mm,
because it's very, in a lot of possession movies, you see the kind of the overcolorization, you know what I mean? But yours is pretty natural, and
yeah.
it was very, very good. I mean, I really like the way that she presented herself.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a shout out to Ko, who's our makeup artist. She's incredible. I mean, every boil was individually placed, which means she had to match it the next day. It wasn't like an overlay of just one thing. And I really feel like, trauma, obviously the film is a lot about trauma and that lives in the body and normally obviously trauma is very inside, but it was an interesting, I felt like exploration of like what would trauma look like if it was coming out on the outside and what that would look like, and her being possessed, and if she was being eaten from kind of the inside out, how would that manifest outwardly? And also, Pierre and I talked about we wanted, me to look different than in Two Witches. So I didn't have the same exact look. And so that, was kind of born from all of that. And I think they did, like you said, a really beautiful job of making her, going through all the different layers of obviously she's, very evil, doing horrible things at the beginning, and then you kind of maybe feel sympathy for her as it goes. And all of that kind of adds to her look.
Right. And it's good that you mentioned that because I was thinking about that is that, you start out, she's evil, she's doing some bad things, but the more you learn about her, the more you sympathize and,
Mhm.
have pity for her. And that
Right.
is unique in these kind of movies in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's one thing that drew me to the script and to the part because, I was reading it at first and I was like, all right, this is what's happening. It's a lot of dark, heavy scenes. And then I loved that the turn of the flashback and finding out why she is the way she is and what happened to her. And at the end of the day, she is no one is the villain of their own story. They're the hero. She's trying to protect her family. She's trying to protect her sister. She's trying to do whatever she can to survive, to keep her safe. And that is the most important thing. And I loved the complexities and the layers, and she's not just all one thing, and neither are we as humans. So I thought that was a really beautiful exploration of that.
And I was so impressed because I see a lot of possession movies.
Mm.
And this one is the first one in a very long time where it was a fresh angle. It was something different, which is, I appreciate so much. Because, like I said, there are so many movies. When
Thank
you
you.
were coming to approach the story, how was it that it was kind of all explained to you about who she is as a person?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's the script, right? So I'm seeing the script, and then Pierre and I talked a lot about her and her backstory and where she was coming from, and what happened to her would affect her. And, that created a character, that created the physicality of her, and like you said, her look and the way she moved. And I hoped, and thank you so much for your kind words, that we would do something a little different that people maybe haven't seen. Because like you said, there's a lot of them, and it's easy to go down one way or the other. And I hoped to bring something somewhat fresh. So thank you for saying that. That means a lot.
It really was. It was so different. And, like I said, the poster gave me kind of a one kind of impression, but this movie is something, it's very different. Well, yes, the demon is there, and he looks great, by the way.
Thank
He
you.
looks awesome, but it's less about him and more about the characters.
Right.
And I thought that was a great touch.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm hopefully be able to continue on my career playing roles that mean something to me, that's something I can dig into, that I can, peel back, that there's a lot of layers to her, and there's many things to it, not just one thing. And I love Pierre, working with Pierre, because I feel like he creates a very interesting, unique, different characters, and allows me to then play and explore, and we kind of find her together.
Right, right. Okay, I'm going to ask something that may be a little challenging. If you had to describe this movie in 4 words, what would they be?
Oh, okay. Okay. Creepy,
Hmm.
devastating.
Hmm.
Let's see what else. I've never thought of a word in my life. What are words? Let's see. Scary, devastating, unique. And then the fourth one would be, I like one of the reviews said bonkers. I kind of like, because that feels accurate as well.
It's wild. The way that it jumps from character to character, it was done amazingly well.
Thank you. Thank you.
So all of that, it keeps you hooked. It keeps you, well, what's going to happen next, which is, a huge thing in any movie, especially a horror movie, because,
Right.
they make so many. But I really have to say, I really enjoyed this.
Oh,
I was very
awesome.
impressed.
Thank you, Kelly. That means a lot. That means a lot. I'm so glad you did. And I hopefully people will check it out as well.
Oh, I'm going to get the word out. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Kelly's on the street. Have you seen this movie? You got to go see this movie.
Oh yeah, trust me. It's when I see something good, it's rare these days that I see something like that really intrigues me, that I
Oh,
really actually get into. So when I see one, you know, I'll put my weight behind it. So
thank you. That means a lot. Indie films need that. They need the people, because we don't have the same outreach as, huge studio movies. So have people like you, people like the fans, that getting the word out, that just means everything.
it's great. It's great, and I thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to talk to me, and your awesome interview and your support.
Thank you. Well, you have a great weekend. Okay.
Okay, you too.
You too.